I will climb every mountain, I will rise with the sun. No river's too deep, the journey has just begun. Just begun. And I got the heart of a huntress.
Welcome to the next installment of Heart of the Huntress Season 4. Previously, we saw Margaret take down a blue wildebeest at Shilante Game Reserve, which is located in the Limpopo province of South Africa. Hanno van Rensburg of Authentic African Adventures pulled out all the stops to give Margaret that special experience of hunting wildebeest on an open 60,000-acre hunting farm. This week, however, we are back with Philip Bronkhorst Safaris, and it is Chantal and Christie's chance to go hunting. But first, let's talk basics.
So today we're going to be hunting using compound bows. This is the weapon of choice for both myself and Chantal back in our home countries. So we're really excited to have the opportunity today to actually hunt with these bows. So guys, can you tell us a little bit about the various methods of bow hunting in Africa?
There's basically two methods that are that we use the most, and that is sitting in a blind at a watering hole or a feeding spot waiting for the animals, and the other method is by walk and stalk. Both has got their advantages and their disadvantages.
So my bow hunting experience is mainly with North American big game, and the shot placement is very different compared to the African animals. We tend to prefer to shoot them quartering away and a little bit back, tight behind the shoulder. Can you tell me the different shot placement for these African species?
Yes, Chantal, if you go on the shot placement on the African animals, the vitals is much more situated forward, right behind the shoulder. So if we can get a quartering away shot, that will be a perfect shot for us. Other than that, a perfect broadside shot. You go straight up with the front leg and stay in the mid-body region. That will give us a double lung shot, and with a perfect shot there, the animal will expire within 100 yards from there.
Okay.
So we've done a fair bit of rifle hunting so far, and we've found that the challenges on a walk and stalk are very much that it's so very hard to close the gap because the animals are just so aware. So obviously that's going to be a big challenge for us with the bows, getting in close. Can you tell us what the ideal distance is shooting an African animal with a compound bow?
The ideal distance is anything that's ethical and that's going to work the best is the distances from 20 yards and under. If we go with the walk and stalk, it's going to be a little bit difficult, and the distance is going to be a little bit further. The possibility when the method of walk and stalk is involved, there's a very big possibility that animals like impala and warthog will jump the string anything from 30 yards and up. So that's not ideal for them, and I mean, as further the distance goes, the risk of either losing the animal or complete missing the animal gets higher.
Now, Petrus, what animals do you expect us to see today?
Chantal, sitting in the blind, the possibility of animals coming in, the variety that we might see is wildebeest, impala, warthog, waterbuck. Those are all animals that has to drink at least once a day. Different species like gemsbuck and blazebuck, those are animals that they don't even need to drink during the day, every day. But and zebra and stuff like that also like to drink at night. They like to move at night towards the water. So I would say anything wildebeest, waterbuck, warthog, impala will be some of the common animals that we will see at the blinds.
So with our experience so far here in Africa, rifle hunting in temperatures reaching 45 degrees and even yesterday 40 degrees in the shade, would this be an advantage for a bow hunter to hunt a waterhole because we've had such limited rain?
Yes, definitely. With the amount of rain that we had up to now, we only had one good rain, and that was quite a few weeks ago. So there's no natural water in the field, all over the field, little ponds of water. So the animals that has to drink water during the day is definitely going to come into the blinds, or some of the blinds, where there is man-made waterholes, because Africa is such a dry country and we only have a specific season that it rains.
As Chantal and Peter went to their hide, we joined Christie and Beatrice in theirs. The nice thing about sitting in a hide is that if you can sit still, you get the opportunity to do some game watching and see animals that would otherwise not be possible to observe so closely. The normally skittish wildebees were very relaxed, and an old bull came to drink some water. Then, suddenly, 2 beautiful impala rams walked in, and the adrenaline started pumping.
I say that's 2 mature males, but we're going to wait a little bit more. I think we can do better than that.
Christie got ready, but the large ram just refused to give her an opportunity. There is a reason he has grown this big. And then some of the most prized trophy animals appeared. A group of young kudu bulls came to the water. But the wind changed direction, and just like that, the behavior of the animals changed as well, and they could smell the hunters. With the wind starting to blow stronger, Beatrice decided to leave the hide and try the hunt on foot, as they were not going to have any success with the changing weather conditions. Time was running out, and a storm was starting to blow in, halting the hunting until the next morning.
Awesome. You're going to bow hunt today for...
Yeah, so hopefully a warthog or another species.
Nice.
With the bow, which will cap off a wonderful week.
Awesome.
With any luck.
So give it a go. Send you with some more in case you need a little touch-up. Good luck.
The following morning, Christie was surprised to learn that Philip Bronkhorst, the owner and outfitter himself, decided to take her out. Philip knows the hunting area like the back of his hand and has a few tricks up his sleeve. But this hunt has nothing to do with a bow. It was not long before they spotted some blesbuck and other plains game animals moving to their grazing areas. Christie loaded her rifle with a Peregrine 270 Winchester VLR Plainsmaster 125 grain bullet and was eager to get going.
So we're going to do a stalk on a blesbuck. We've just seen a few around in the open fields. It's
there's not a real lot of cover, so we'll have to be put in a very good stalk in order to be successful. So there's animals to our left, animals to our right, so it will be tricky, but it's a nice time of morning. The animals are about, and I'm feeling pretty fresh and enthusiastic, so we'll see how we go.
Right, let's go. This way, and try and use the sun for light as well to be in our favour.
Philip identified a lone blesbuck ram some distance from the main group and decided to try and stalk him. With lots of open ground to cross, stealth and lots of luck were the name of the game.
This box at about 173 yards.
With more than 30 years of hunting experience, Philip has developed a sixth sense when it comes to reading what the animals are doing. It was this that helped them get into a position where a possible shot started to become more of a reality. The big thing he was worrying about was that the other blesbuck could sense them and give their position away. The sun, which is behind us, shining in their eyes, so they battle to see us. Once they were under 100 meters away, it was now just the matter of getting Christie on the shooting sticks and waiting for the right ram to walk into a good position. And if it could provide a broadhand shot, so much the better.
He's down. Oh. Right. Congratulations. That's good. Right. You did a perfect shot. The shot is probably about 135 yards, and dropped him down right on the spot. Congratulations. Beautiful.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Very nice walk and stalk.
We had a couple of practice runs,
Yeah.
and then this one just went like
Yeah.
clockwork, didn't it?
Go and pick up the bow. They
Yeah.
think we're going to do bow hunting now.
That's
and
right,
there-
we tricked
there
them.
you go.
Hey? That's right.
Right, let's walk up there. You are ready?
Yet another hunt that proved there is no substitute for experience. And Philip Bronkhorst again showed the huntresses why he is one of the most respected outfitters and professional hunters in Africa.
Congratulations, that was good. Excellent, good. And a perfect shot, beautiful, right on the dot. Right, Christie, here we are. We finally got a common blesbok down. Went out this morning and started looking for the common blesbok. Now, just for a little bit of introduction, the common blesbok is one of the species that is endemic to only South Africa. Common blesbok, bontebok, waalreebok and mountain reebok was the 4 species that people came down, hunters from years ago in the 60s came down to South Africa because this is the only place that they could collect them for their trophy rooms. And later years they started exporting some blesbok to Texas and to Namibia and Botswana, so you can get them in some of the other countries as well, but it is absolutely 100% endemic to South Africa. But go ahead, tell us the story.
Yeah, right. So we started out pretty early, got an early start, and the weather's a bit cooler this morning, as you can see from my jacket, and still a little bit overcast today. So we come out into the fields and the animals were quite active, so there was a lot about. They were happy to pose for the camera, but didn't really want to be shot with a rifle. So we had a few, we'll call them practice runs, a few short stalks, and then decided we'll just let the animals settle a little bit, and we'll head back and pick up my compound bow and go bow hunting. So we did so, and on the way back out into the fields, this beautiful blesbok decided to grace us with his presence and gave us a nice good opportunity for a nice efficient hunt. So I took the shot at 130 metres. He was lined up for the shot. I was about to shoot. He decided to take a few steps forward and then stopped again, and that was my chance. So took him high on the shoulder and he dropped within a few metres. So really happy with how the hunt went. So
That was really incredible and good. And off the shooting sticks, you shot it with the 270 with the Peregrine ammunition.
Yep.
And
great job once again.
Yeah, excellent.
So
and
they performed very well.
You've got a beautiful trophy there with all the typical characteristics that you'll find in a blesbok. The horns with the ivory rings pointing forward. Very, very beautiful ram. Start going over his prime. You can see the tips of the horns are a little bit rounded off already. They're not that sharp anymore, but beautiful trophy, and I hope you'll be having him proudly displayed on your trophy room.
Oh, most certainly. The trophy room's getting a bit crowded so after this trip, so it's certainly been an absolutely wonderful trip so far. Coming towards the end, it's been very, very successful, and Philip, you've been just a wonderful host, and it's just a really fitting way to end the week, having you here for this hunt as my PH. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Excellent. Good. So, perfect.
Yeah, and so just one last thing. Obviously a lot of animals are taken when you have groups on safaris. I was just wondering what happens to the meat from the animals.
So normally what we do with the meat, some of it get used in camp, and then some of it we sell as well to local population and the communities around here. But then A lot of it get given to orphanages and people in need, some of the old age homes. So what we'll do with this is we'll take this the meat of this animal and we'll take it to a processing plant, and where it will be inspected, it will be prepared and will be packed, and from there we will take this back to an old age home, which they're always in need of a lot of food, meat, vegetables and things like that. But this will certainly be well received and well used with people that can use it well.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, it's feels great for me to be a big part of conservation, animal conservation in Africa, but also part of helping the community out. So yeah, that's great news to hear.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is we as hunters, everything we do, it's in a legal way, it's in a sustainable way, and we utilize a natural resource which is provided to us. And if we don't do it legal, it's poaching. If we don't do it sustainable, it's going to disappear, and we can't continue with that. And the resource will disappear. These resources are 100% used to create habitat, because a lot of habitat is busy disappearing for wildlife to occur in. And we can't just put wildlife in any place. They have their specific places that they need to occur in and live in. And habitat destruction, the loss of habitat is a great concern and cause for a lot of animal populations to disappear. And by sustainably, legally using them, we can create more habitat, and the species can definitely increase in numbers. If we look at how many blesbok was left and bontebok was left, Cape Mountain zebra was left, and I started using them sustainably, their numbers has gone haywire, you can almost say, and it's exploded. So yes, thanks very much to you guys also coming out here to South Africa, and come and see what we do, how we do it, and telling the story to other people and inform them, because we have to teach the other people how this happens, what we're doing, and give them the information that way.
And I think for the general public, sometimes hunters, or quite a lot hunters, are viewed in a negative way, but I strongly believe that hunters and game parks have the hugest vested interest in looking after the wildlife and looking after the environment, in order to keep their sport, their recreation and their income alive. So yeah, I think it's a great thing you're doing out here.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I've really enjoyed being here. So
yeah.
once
Good.
again, thank you so much, Philip.
Excellent. Good.
Remember to join us for the next episode of Heart of the Huntress. In this episode, we go hunting with Donna, who we saw earlier this season get her first opportunity to shoot with a crossbow.